America is one of the most powerful and influential countries in the world. From Hollywood to McDonald's, US culture has reached every corner of the planet. But not everyone is a fan of American influence. In fact, some countries in Europe have a long history of disagreements with the US. It's not always about the people. Many Europeans actually like individual Americans. But when it comes to politics, history, and cultural influence, tensions run deep. So today, we're looking at 5 European countries that have had a rocky relationship with America. But before we start, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more interesting content. Now let's dive in. Our first country is France. France and America have been allies for centuries, going all the way back to the American Revolution. In fact, France played a key role in helping the US gain independence from Britain. But despite this history, the relationship has always been complicated. One of the biggest reasons the French have issues with America is cultural influence. The French take great pride in their language, cinema, and traditions. But with Hollywood dominating the global film industry and American fast food chains spreading across Europe, many French people feel that their culture is being overshadowed. In fact, there have been government policies in France aimed at limiting American influence, like laws requiring a certain percentage of French music to be played on the radio to counteract American pop music. Then there's politics. France strongly opposed the US invasion of Iraq in 2003, which led to tension between the two countries. This even resulted in the infamous "Freedom Fries" movement in America, where some people stopped calling French fries French as a protest. And let's not forget that the French often see Americans as too loud, too informal, and sometimes even arrogant. It's not that they hate Americans, but they do like to keep their distance when it comes to global affairs. Number 2. Germany. Germany and the US are strong economic partners, and both countries have benefited from trade and business relations. However, the political relationship hasn't always been smooth. One major reason why many Germans dislike the US is mass surveillance. In 2013, whistleblower Edward Snowden revealed that the US National Security Agency had been spying on world leaders, including German Chancellor Angela Merkel. This sparked outrage in Germany, where privacy is taken very seriously. Many Germans saw this as a betrayal from an ally and a sign that the US did not respect their sovereignty. Another big issue is the American military presence. Even though World War II ended decades ago, there are still around 30,000 US troops stationed in Germany. Many Germans feel that their country is being used for American military interests and that these bases should be removed. While some argue that the US military helps maintain security, others believe that it's unnecessary and only increases tensions with Russia. Overall, while Germany and the US remain important allies, there is a strong feeling among many Germans that America is too dominant in global affairs and doesn't always act in Europe's best interests. Number 3. Spain. Spain has had a complex relationship with the US, especially when it comes to political and military issues. One of the biggest reasons why many Spaniards dislike the US is the Iraq War. In 2003, Spain's government supported the US invasion of Iraq, despite massive protests from Spanish citizens. The war was deeply unpopular in Spain, and many people saw it as a mistake that was driven by American interests rather than real concerns about global security. This led to widespread resentment towards the US government. Another issue is economic policies. Many Spaniards believe that the US promotes an economic system that prioritizes big corporations over ordinary workers. Spain, like many other European countries, has a strong tradition of social welfare, with free healthcare and worker protections. Meanwhile, America's capitalist system is often seen as ruthless and unfair. This difference in ideology has created a sense of distrust towards American economic influence. Finally, there's also a cultural aspect. Spaniards take great pride in their language and traditions, and many feel that American culture is too dominant. Whether it's Hollywood movies, English becoming a global language, or fast food chains replacing local restaurants, there's a feeling that American influence is erasing some of Spain's unique identity. Number 4. Greece. Greece's relationship with the United States has been shaped by political interference, economic struggles, and military tensions. One of the biggest sources of resentment dates back to 1967, when a military junta took control of Greece with US support. The dictatorship lasted for 7 years, during which thousands of Greeks were arrested, tortured, or exiled. Even today, Annual protests on November 17 commemorate the student uprising against the regime, often including anti-American slogans and flag burnings. Another major event that fueled Greek anger was the 1974 Cyprus crisis, when Turkey invaded northern Cyprus following a Greek-backed coup. Many Greeks believe that the US, despite being a NATO ally, failed to prevent the invasion and even favored Turkey for strategic reasons. This sense of betrayal remains strong, especially as America continues selling weapons to Turkey despite its ongoing disputes with Greece over airspace and territorial waters. Economic struggles have also played a role in anti-American sentiment. During the 2008 financial crisis, Greece was forced to accept harsh austerity measures from the IMF, an institution heavily influenced by the US. These measures led to mass unemployment, economic collapse, and widespread protests, many of which blamed American-led financial institutions for Greece's suffering. The presence of US military bases in Greece has also been controversial. Many Greeks believe their country is being used as a pawn in American foreign policy, making Greece a potential target in global conflicts. Protests against these bases are common, with demands for less US military influence in the region. Despite these tensions, diplomatic relations between Greece and the US remain strong. However, historical grievances, economic struggles, and ongoing geopolitical disputes ensure that skepticism toward America still exists among many Greeks today. Our last country is Serbia. Serbia's relationship with the United States has been marked by deep tensions, historical conflicts, and political disagreements. While the two countries have had diplomatic ties for over a century, the scars of NATO's 1999 bombing campaign, US support for Kosovo's independence, and economic pressures have left a lasting impact on Serbian perceptions of America. Many Serbians feel that the US has repeatedly acted against their national interests, leading to one of the strongest anti-American sentiments in Europe. One of the most defining moments in Serbia's modern history was the 1999 NATO bombing campaign, which lasted for 78 days and devastated the country. The campaign was launched in response to the Kosovo War, where Serbian forces were accused of human rights violations against ethnic Albanians. NATO, led by the United States, carried out relentless airstrikes, hitting military targets but also bridges, factories, hospitals, and even the Chinese embassy in Belgrade. Over 2,500 people were killed, including civilians, and parts of Serbia were left in ruins. To this day, many Serbians see the bombings as an illegal attack on their country, arguing that NATO acted without United Nations approval and violated Serbia's sovereignty. The destruction caused by the bombings is still visible in Belgrade, and the memory of the war fuels resentment toward the US and its Western allies. The most significant political betrayal, in Serbian eyes, came in 2008, when Kosovo declared independence from Serbia, with full backing from the United States. For Serbia, Kosovo is not just another region, it is considered the heart of Serbian history, culture, and religion. Many Serbs see America's role in supporting Kosovo's independence as a direct attack on their national identity. Even today, Serbia refuses to recognize Kosovo as an independent country, and US officials continue to push for Serbian recognition. This issue remains a major obstacle in US-Serbia relations, as many Serbians feel that Washington's policy has been one-sided, favoring ethnic Albanians at Serbia's expense. Beyond military and political conflicts, economic struggles have also fueled anti-American sentiment in Serbia. After the fall of Yugoslavia, Serbia faced harsh economic sanctions imposed by the US and its allies, leading to widespread poverty and suffering. Many Serbians believe that the sanctions were not just targeted at the government but also punished ordinary people, making their daily lives extremely difficult. Even after the wars ended, Serbia struggled with foreign debts, unemployment, and economic instability, while many American and European companies benefited from business opportunities in the Balkans. Despite all these grievances, Serbia and the US maintain diplomatic and economic ties, and some younger Serbians admire aspects of American culture. However, the memories of war, bombings, and political betrayal still dominate public opinion. To this day, anti-American protests are common, and many Serbians remain skeptical of US influence in the Balkans. While relations may improve over time, the deep wounds of the past ensure that resentment toward the US remains strong in Serbia today. So there you have it, 5 European countries where America isn't exactly popular. Of course, this doesn't mean that every person in these countries dislikes America. There are still strong business, cultural, and even personal relationships between these nations and the US, but history, politics, and cultural differences have created tensions that are hard to ignore. What do you think? Do you agree with these reasons, or do you have a different perspective? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.